Hello, hello, my mamas. So jumping on here, I'll do a quick intro. I haven't done an intro in a while. My name is Brooke. I live in Oregon with my husband, our English bulldog, and our baby girl who's just over 1 year old. And my mission here as the Empowering Mama is to talk about motherhood and pregnancy and just the journey of it all, and to be really real and honest and open, and to prepare moms for their pregnancy journey, for their postpartum journey, and through motherhood, so they know their options, so they feel empowered and feel really good rather than feeling like they've been hit by a bus, right? I mean, I had a very rough postpartum that really inspired me to, my baby girl's knocking on the door, that inspired me to really just open up and talk to other moms about the real life behind pregnancy, postpartum, motherhood, all of it. So every Saturday I am on here, and I call this my Empowered Mama Chats. I come on here every Saturday and we talk about all sorts of different things. It might be pregnancy, it might be motherhood, it might be a combo of the two, birth, like all the things I love talking about, because I'm going to be really real, honest, and open with you guys, and not like sugarcoat it and make it look pretty for Instagram. Like, no, we're going to talk about it, all the real good stuff. So today I want to talk about breech babies. I had a breech baby, and a lot of moms right now I've been messaging with and in contact with have breech babies. So I thought this might be a really awesome topic to talk about, because I really struggled when I found out my baby was breech. And I know a lot of other moms feel that anxiety and that shock. A lot of times it is a shock when you find out your baby is breech, because it's not normal. We'll talk about that. So I think talking about these things and knowing about it, that it is a possibility, will really help some other mamas out there. So if you're pregnant, just comment below, say hi, let me know when you're due, just so we can celebrate and congratulate you. But okay, so let's talk about a little bit about my story, and then I'm going to talk about what, looking back now, some things that really helped me and that probably would have helped me then while I was pregnant, now that I've been through it all, right? I've come out on the other side. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and now I'm there. So our journey, we had planned a home birth. We had a great pregnancy. We were very, very lucky, very smooth up until the very end, 37 weeks, I believe it was. Found out that she was breech. We found out in a very unexpected way. Her heart rate had dropped. We ended up going in for an ultrasound just to make sure everything was okay with her heart, and everything looked smooth and good. And the lady who was doing the ultrasound said, "Has anyone told you this baby's breech?" And I melted down. I had that as my biggest fear throughout my entire pregnancy. And having that realization at 37 weeks, when it was almost go time, we were planning our home birth, getting everything set up in the home and getting everything ready. Finding out she was breech hit me like a bus. And then I spent the next few days so stressed out, mamas, and it was just a very, very rough time for me. Because we had planned a home birth, I knew having her be breech was a very big complication, and that would take me in a totally different route than I had planned, right? Because I had this whole birth plan. So what had happened in the next few days is I tried everything to flip her. You can look up, if you have a breech baby, there's all these different methods you can try to flip your baby. Doing handstands in the pool, laying on an ironing board at an angle for a certain amount of time, doing light, different light, putting light down at the bottom or the top, and using music, using voice to try to make the baby, turn towards the husband's voice or whatever it might be, your partner's voice. All these different things you can try. So I laid on an ironing board twice a day, inverted on the couch, for 20 minutes at a time. I tried moxibustion, I believe that's how you say it. It's this heat treatment on your toes. It's the weirdest freaking thing, you guys. I did acupuncture, and I had never done acupuncture before in my life, but I was I'm doing all the things. I had done chiropractic throughout my entire pregnancy, but I was doing daily chiropractic as soon as I found out she was breech, because that can help as well. I was trying everything. I meditated. I talked to her. I had little like meditation sessions where I was like, come on, baby girl, like flip for mommy. Like I did everything. My husband was talking into my belly. Like we did all the things. We did an external version where you have someone manually actually try to turn your baby in your belly. Our midwife attempted that, and we were very safe about it. We had someone come and they were ultrasounding and like watching the baby, listening to the heart rate. We monitored how she was doing throughout the entire thing. My midwife attempted 3 times to flip the baby, and she did not move. So it was a failed attempt. And we all felt comfortable and confident in that. We did the best we could during that, and we decided it wasn't going to happen at that moment. And I had scheduled to have another version done at the hospital. The benefit to that is they can give you some relaxers, so it kind of relaxes your uterus and doesn't like tense up and make it even harder for the baby to move, because a lot of times when you find out your breech, it's towards the end of your pregnancy. In the beginning, like baby's so small and like they're flipping all around and moving like crazy. So they might be breech at some point, but then flip back, as they should be. But we were at 37. I was like towards the end. So fun fact, I found out she was breech on a Friday. I had my scheduled version, external version at the hospital for that next Thursday. My water broke on Wednesday. So long story short, we had a breech baby. We made the choice to end up having a cesarean because of how she was holding her cord. Long story. I won't get into too much of our birth story, but we made the choice to have a cesarean to avoid any kind of emergency or complications throughout the birth. And I really struggled. I really, really struggled because my birth plan didn't go to plan. So I really want to share some things that help me looking back now, because at the time when I was in it, I felt like I had failed. I felt like my baby and I weren't birthing the natural way. We weren't doing things a normal way. She wasn't positioned in a normal way. I had this vision, even my midwife gave me this beautiful piece of artwork of how baby is positioned, head down, and it was beautiful with like flowers and everything. And I saw that after my birth, and it would rip me apart. And I still get emotional about it because I felt like, we weren't normal. Like my uterus wasn't normal. My baby wasn't normal. Like our birth wasn't normal. And I did at the time, I felt like we failed at birth. And looking back now, how silly that is, I can see it clearly now. Any mama who has a breech baby, I want you to know that no matter, even if your baby's not breech, if your birth doesn't go as planned, remember that there are so many variations of normal. There is no one way to birth your baby. There's no right way to birth your baby. So I think letting go of that idea that you have to, have a vaginal birth and you have to not be medicated and you have to this, that, and the other, whatever's hanging you up, whatever you think is like wrong, just know that there's no right or wrong. Whatever ends up happening at the end of the day, for me, I think what's most important, and people will tell you, like, as long as you have a healthy baby, that's all that matters. Duh, like, of course you want your baby to be healthy. But I'm sorry, the health and the mental health of the mother also matters. So there's a lot that goes into that. And I think just remembering that there are variations of normal for birth, for pregnancy, for postpartum. And knowing that if you do have a breech baby, for me, like I look back and I realize that's how she needed to be. For whatever reason, like I don't understand. I wish it wasn't that way. She needed to be breech. She needed to be born from a cesarean. She, I read myself this quote all the time that, she wasn't pushed into this world. She was lifted. And that's really beautiful to me because I think a lot of times we think that cesareans can't be beautiful. Cesareans aren't real birth. And mamas, that is not true. No matter what your birth looks like, it is beautiful, it is worthy, it is birth. You birth your baby, no matter if it's from your vagina or from your belly. Like, you are giving birth to a baby, you are becoming a mother, and that is a beautiful thing. So I think really remembering that and just focusing on just what's important, right? Like, I know like we all want birth to go a certain way, but Yes, your health of your baby is important. Yes, you're safe, you're healthy, that's important. There are other things you can focus on, even if you do have a breech baby and you do end up going to schedule a cesarean, or things don't go maybe as exactly as you planned. There are other things you can focus on. So I think knowing your options as you go into your birth experience, before your birth experience, I will say, this is something I talk a lot about in my postpartum planning 101 course that I have going for first-time mamas who are preparing for their postpartum journey. This course will really help you guys to plan and prepare for that. But this is something we talk about a lot, is really focusing on the options that you have. So yes, we can't plan birth, right? We can't say exactly how it's going to go, but you have options throughout your entire pregnancy, through your birth, and through your postpartum journey. So knowing what your options are at the hospital, asking for skin on skin, asking for delayed cord clamping, asking for the baby to not have a bath after your birth, if that's what you want, right? This is what you want and you choose. Like I said, there's no right and wrong, but knowing what your options are before you go to give birth to your baby gives you that empowerment. So when I look back now, I didn't have control over my birth, of course. I ended up with a breech birth. I ended up with cesarean, all things that I didn't plan or even want. But I knew I had options that I could make choices on. We made the choice to have a cesarean. I never felt pushed or pressured or forced into it. We made the choice to have skin on skin. We made the choice for our baby not to have a bath. You have the choices for whatever you want. Obviously, there are complications that come up where maybe your baby needs to go to the NICU, things like that. You might have complications with your birth, but I think knowing what all of your options are before you're in the moment, that gives you that empowerment and those choices that you can make. And at least you know that you can go into your birth experience being respected, and as a mom and as a woman, feeling respected and given choices and given all of the information that you need to feel empowered and to feel respected. That's what matters. I think that's when you recover from those, tough times or those traumatic times throughout your birth. I think feeling that respect, having those choices and knowing your options, all of your information, that leads to empowerment and to an empowered birth. That's what it did for me. Looking back now, yes, we started with a whirlwind of a situation at 37 weeks and, all of the craziness that came with our birth, but I knew we had choices and options, and I was respected throughout the entire process. So mamas, I hope that is helpful. If you do find yourself with a breech baby, ask lots of questions, learn what your options are. Know that there is no normal, there's no right or wrong way to give birth to your baby. No matter how your baby enters this world, it is right for you and your baby, and you're going to meet your baby so very soon, and it is such an amazing, amazing feeling when you have that baby on your chest. So breech baby mamas, if you are struggling, mentally through it, if you have questions about breech babies, I'm not a medical professional, but I am happy to share our experience and chat with you. I chat with lots of mamas about breech babies because, like I said, our baby was breech and threw us for a whirlwind. So I love chatting with mamas. Just feel free to message me, comment below, whatever you want to do. I love chatting with you guys. So anyways, I hope that is helpful to ease a mama's mind who has a breech baby. I can't wait to hear from you guys. That's my Empowered Mamas chat for this week, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend. All right, bye you guys.